What is the reaction order with respect to B, given the reaction of A plus B producing C, and a set of data for 3 experiments carried out at a given temperature, where we vary the concentrations of A and B and see what the effect on the rate of the reaction is. So here's the thing. We can use experiment 2 and 3 to see what happens when we double the concentration of B. The problem is that we're also doubling the concentration of A at that point. And remember in a previous question that we had found out that the reaction was second order with respect to A. So the work here is a little more involved to figure out the reaction order with respect to B. But I can again just write a ratio of the rates. So the rate for the first experiment over the rate of the second experiment. So for the first experiment would be K, think of the rate law as K times A times some factor X, and then B times Y over, for the second reaction, and I guess this would be X1 and Y1, given that we're talking about reaction 1. And that would be K times A to the X for the second reaction, B, Y for the second reaction. So here's what we already know. We already know that X1 and X2 are 2. In a previous question, we found out that the reaction was second order with respect to A. And for the reaction, Y1 will equal Y2, and so we're just going to call that Y. Okay? So now I can put some data in. So why don't I go ahead and do that? So again, I'm going to use experiment 2 and experiment 3. So I'm going to say the rate for the first one, which is 8 times 10 to the minus 4, over the rate for the second, 2.56 times 10 to the minus 2, equals, you can see up here the k's will cancel. Since it's carried out all at the same temperature, the k is constant, so I get rid of that. So the concentration of A for that first experiment, 0.2, and that would be squared. The concentration of the B is 0.1, and I don't know the reaction order. I'm going to do the same thing for the second reaction, which in this case is experiment 3. So I have 0.4 squared times 0.2 to some power y. From here, it's just a little bit of algebra. So the left side of the equation simplifies down to 0.125 is equal to, the right side of this boils down to 0.5 to the y power. And do a little calculator work here, and you get that y is equal to 3. So the reaction is third order with respect to